Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Hi everyone, welcome to Whiteboard Magic. I'm Buti. I've been in the field of disabilities for over 31 years. I was a special education teacher, an autism itinerant, a special education administrator, and I was the director of autism and intellectual disabilities for the Chicago Public Schools. I now own my own business, AIEPA, which stands for Advocate and Instructional Expert for People with Autism. Well, let's begin. So when we think about autism, we know it's a developmental disability that affects verbal and nonverbal communication and social interactions. We know some might be involved with engagement in repetitive activities and stereotype movements. Some might demonstrate resistance to environmental change or change in a daily routine. Some might demonstrate unusual responses to sensory experiences. What we know is that most people with autism respond really well to visual supports. They can support all areas of challenges with a child with autism. Some of the targeted areas are adaptive behavior. It includes understanding the spoken language, processing, being more independent, transitions, social skills, communication, engagement on task, and more. So here's a great hurrah for us administrators, because visual supports meet the evidence-based practice criteria within the early childhood, elementary, and middle school age groups. This is great news because as educators, we want to be using evidence-based practices. So let's read what the National Research Council says about visual supports. Visual supports are any tool presented visually that support an individual as he or she moves throughout the day. Visual supports might include, but are not limited to, pictures, written words, objects within the environment, arrangement of the environment or social boundaries, schedules, maps, labels, organization systems, timelines, and scripts. They're used across settings to support individuals with ASD. So why are visual supports so good for kids with autism? Well, for one, we know that auditory information is fleeting. It's there and whoop, it's gone. Visual information stays there long enough for the child to take as long as they need to process. Maybe go back and look at details. Maybe go back because they forgot. A reminder. So we know that these visual supports are successful, but oftentimes teachers presume that the child understands everything they're saying, but frequently they don't because they haven't processed this auditory information, right? Or they're using other visuals like facial expressions and gestures and other environmental things. So it's really important to understand your child's visual learning style and how they take in information, how they process it, and how they understand it, so that we're providing the visual supports necessary for the child to be successful. So here's a great thing. Visuals are easy to use, require little training. My favorite, inexpensive. Also really good, individualized, especially when working with children with autism. Every child is so uniquely different. Visuals can be individualized for every child you work for. And they increase independence. And what we know is we want all of our children to be as independent as possible. This is great. Now look at this list. This is a big list, right? Which of these do you think you might need a visual on the fly? Right away, right now? Well, communication, because it happens all day long. Teaching literacy skills, right? We might need something in the middle of a lesson. Teaching independence, Absolutely. Social skills, I mean, social situations, you can't predict how they're going to be. Self-monitoring, definitely. Organizational skills, planning skills, transitions, they happen throughout the day. Sometimes they happen when we don't know they're going to happen. Motivation, some days kids are more motivated than other days, so we might need something different on the fly. Context and academics. Scheduling and sequencing, schedules can change. And sharing and receiving information. So these are all areas where you might need a visual on the fly. Need it right now. Fast, let's go. I need that visual. And they can be used in all environments. So this Magic Whiteboard can be used anywhere. In the community, on the playground, in gym, in the hallways, in the bathroom, at home, in the classroom, anywhere. And they're really good to have just in case technology breaks down. Or if, oopsie, I forgot to charge the technology. So they're just great to have at all times. And what is that? It's the Magic Whiteboard. Yes. So here's some pictures of some of my faves. Okay, so let's look at, there's two with handles. That's great. It makes it easy to hold. You're not covering up any of the whatever you wrote on the whiteboard. So the one on the bottom with that stand that kind of looks like this, ironically, mine's orange. So it's my Magic Orange board. But what I like about this is it can sit on your table, and it also magnets stick to it. So you can actually have other visuals you pre-made that have magnets on it, and they can just stick on the board, but it is a whiteboard. And then some of them are like the one all the way to the right of the screen that have the marker attached to it with the little eraser on it too. And then I wanted to show the one right in the middle of the screen. These are kind of like overlay packets where you can put, or display packets, you can put paper in them, but they're pretty thick. And as long as you're using your dry erase marker, you can use those just like a whiteboard. So you put the paper in it and you can just work with the dry erase marker. Okay. And guess what? Woohoo! Anything you laminate can also be used as a dry erase board. As long as you're using your dry erase marker, laminated paper works too. All right, so let's look at some situations that are specifically really good for the Magic Whiteboard. All right, so a student who might have a schedule, they're using their picture schedule, maybe it's Velcroed and they're taking the pictures off as they do it. And you have a situation where for whatever reason that day, there's something on the schedule that they're having a hard time with. Maybe it's the locker time. And maybe that day it's like really loud by the locker, or there's too much going on. And the child needs what we like to call a mini schedule. So you may not have that made. So you pull out your whiteboard and you say, right, backpack and locker, take out lunch, take out books, boop, there it is, on the fly. Oh, sometimes there might be a change in the schedule with no notice. And we know that could be really hard. So let's say we're walking down to music class, we walk in music only to find out the music teacher is not here today. Oh my gosh, take out the whiteboard, boop, no music, universal no sign, and then write what you're gonna do instead, because that is a change from the picture schedule that the child already processed. So they're gonna need you to write that down, that universal no symbol, and then what you're gonna do instead on the fly. All right, what's another one? Oh, a student who just needs a lot of prompts throughout the day, but you may not always know which prompt or when. I mean, here's like a picture of an eye. This might be eyes on teacher. I mean, you can write down any of these. You could draw a hand for like hands to self. You can write book, like, come on, check out your book. Start working. Any of those little prompts you might just need quick and on the fly. What else? Let's see. ooh, a checklist for something that you didn't know ahead of time. Either the assignment just came up ahead of time, some way that you just need to make an extra little checklist of the things that need to be done. You can quickly make it. You can make your little boxes. The student can check it off. You can wipe them off either way. If the student didn't finish their work and needs to write down a few things that they have left to complete, and maybe they'll put it to the side. Because some of our students, if they're not finished with an assignment, they have a hard time moving on to the next thing until they're finished. Well, maybe you say, okay, so you still need to answer questions 3 and 4, write your name on the paper, and turn in the paper. You can write those down, tell the student, okay, we still need to do these. We're gonna do them later. Put the little whiteboard over, and then the student might be able to move on better. Maybe even a list of things to do during a social situation, because social situations, they're different every time. So we can't always predict what might occur, right? What else? Oh, maybe the child's struggling with some words during a reading lesson, but you don't want to interrupt the lesson. So you're writing down those words they struggled with. So then afterwards, you have the words on the whiteboard and you practice them with the child, and you can kind of erase them once they kind of master them, or they know them, or they understand them, or they wrote them in their homework notebook. I love the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. So if the child's having a challenging time with transition, I could simply write 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on a whiteboard. And as it goes, you walk by and say, all right, you've got 4 minutes left. You walk by a little bit later. All right, you've got 3 minutes left. You walk by a little later. You've got 2 minutes left. And a little bit later, you've got 1 minute. And then boop, you're done. Great strategy, simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So I just want you to remember, when you need a visual in a snap, take out that whiteboard and right away, just write the prompts down and simply either cross them out or wipe them off. It's a simple strategy that you can use in any environment with any student. So use your Magic Whiteboard. Thanks, everyone. Just remember, my name is Mo Buti. You can reach me at mobuti@hotmail.com or my Twitter handle at @themobuti. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this session.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP Education Program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.